Bishop Allyson Abrams, and this is Morning Manna. All right, so I want to ask you to take a few moments to press like, take a few moments to press share, and take a few moments to even text somebody. Tell them, come on, girl, you got to get on. Man, I need you on this morning. All right, again, this is Morning Manna, brought to you from Empowerment Liberation Cathedral. I am Bishop Allyson Abrams. So happy to have the opportunity to bring this to you on this morning. All right, so again, take a few moments to press like, take a few moments to press share, and guess what? We want you to make sure you hit the notification button, okay? So that whenever we come on, you'll be notified and you can tune in and get the morning message. All right, these are nuggets to nourish you, to just start your day. And these are my thoughts about either the word or a certain song or maybe a hymn, but it's just something to help you start your day, something to encourage you along the way. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Thank you to everybody who's written me and told me that you have been enjoying Morning Manna. And so, you know, I have enjoyed bringing these short messages to you. All right, so again, welcome to anybody who is just signing on to Morning Manna. I am Bishop Allyson Abrams, the pastor of Empowerment Liberation Cathedral. Now, we have had a great time talking about so many hymns. We're going to continue to talk about hymns probably throughout December. But I want to bring a couple of songs to you. As I said, if you want me to talk about one of your favorites, to inbox me. So I've had some people to share some songs with me that they wanted me to talk about. So the song for today is God Specializes. Is that anybody's favorite? God Specializes. Maybe you a soloist. God Specializes starts out with, have you any rivers that seem uncrossable? Have you any mountain that you cannot tunnel through? God specializes in things thought impossible. He will do what no other power, holy power, can do. Now, what I like about this particular song, and just even looking at the verse, is that oftentimes we find ourselves experiencing things that we see that feel as if they're impossible to overcome. And so when you talk about rivers, we remember the Israelites. There was the Jordan River that was there, and it was too great for them to cross. There was no way for them to get across that river. And sometimes it seems as if there's just something standing in our way, something separating us and our destiny. And so oftentimes we may even look at that thing. We may even stare at that thing. We may even walk up to it and take a glimpse of what is on the other side. But we're always reminded of how this is standing in between us. Anybody ever felt that before? And so sometimes there are stumbling blocks that are right there in front of you. There are cracks in the ground that may cause you to trip and to fall, or to maybe twist something, an ankle, or break a foot or bone or something. But I just want to let you know that that is what I believe the author talks about when he says, or she says, that have you any rivers that seem uncrossable? Because, you know, it gives the appearance that there is no way around it. It gives the appearance that there's no way through it. The appearance that there's no way to even go over it. And there's surely no way to go under it. And so, you know, when we think about our lives, sometimes we can say that we have experienced some things that it just made it seem like this is always going to be here. It's never going to leave. It's always going to be an obstacle in my life. I'm always going to have to deal with this. Anybody ever felt that before? And so when they sing that particular song, some people can relate to having some things that you never thought would leave your life, some things that you never thought would be moved moved out of the way. And so that's what I believe she was talking about, the songwriter, where she talked about the rivers that seemed uncrossable. And then, have you any mountains that you cannot tunnel through? And so sometimes there would be some things that are so large, that are so tall, that you can't even see around it. It's like your view is blocked and your vision is blocked, and it's just like it pushes you back because of its enormous size. And sometimes there's some things that will show up in your life that are so great that there is nothing you can do in your small power. There's nothing you can do in your humanness. There's nothing you can do without someone that is great on your side, without a grand something that can deal with whatever this is that is so great that you can't even see around it, so great that you can't see over it. And sometimes those things that are so great, those mountains that show up in our lives, those mountains seem to block even the sun. Anybody know that it blocks the sun, and it seems to even block the son too. The mountains are so tall that they block the sun that gives us the light. And there's a sun that we know that we need to live each and every day in our human body. But also there's a son that we need to help us to survive this life that we are living. And so the mountain sometimes is so tall, it's so big, it's so massive that we lose sight. We lose the light that we were following, the light that helped us to breathe and helped to give us light each and every day. And so sometimes, church, we just gotta step back and say, God, can you help me here? God, I need you here. God, can you intervene here? God, can you step in? And so the author was relating to some things that we surely have gone through. If you're older than 10 years old, surely you have had some mountains in your life. If you're older than 25 years old, surely you have had some rivers that it seemed like they were uncrossable. If you're older than 50 years old, surely you've experienced both of these somewhere on your journey. And when you have these things come in your life, church, sometimes it makes you want to give up. Sometimes it makes you want to give in. Sometimes you want to just throw in the towel and say, God, I don't know why this is happening, but I'm giving up on everything because it doesn't look like anything is going to turn around for my good. Anybody ever felt that before? Anybody ever been in something so long? Maybe you were like the woman with the issue of blood that was in something so long, or something was happening to your body so long, something was happening to your mind for so long, something was happening in your family for so long, something was happening on your job for so long that it felt like it would never be over. It felt like it would never be resolved. And it felt like, that God was not on your side and God had forgotten about you. But this song tells us that God specializes. That means that God's got a specialty. God knows better than anybody how to work out these situations when they show up in our lives. God is the expert on problems that show up that seem as if they're too great to even ever be resolved in our lives. God is the expert. God has got the track record. God has proven himself over and over and over and over again. So it says God specializes. I don't know about you, but when you got certain problems going on, it's best to go to a specialist. When you have certain situations going on in your life, it's best to talk to a specialist. And so God specializes in things that we feel are impossible. Anybody ever felt like something was impossible? You just felt like surely there is no way out of this. And when you feel that way, I just came to tell you today to look to the Lord, because God specializes in those situations. See, God is the one who can turn that situation around for you. God is the one who can bring you out of that situation. God is the one who can make everything all right in your life. So you need to know today that God specializes in things that seem impossible. I don't know about you, but sometimes in our humanness, we look at that river in front of us and we say there is absolutely no way. We say there is no way to get to our destiny, which is on the other side. We say there's no way to get through to the blessing. And I need you to know today that God specializes in those things. And so whatever may be going on in your life, God can specialize in that. Whatever is happening in your family, God can specialize in that. Whatever is happening in your government, God can specialize in that. Whatever may be happening in your relationship, God can specialize in that. I just need you to know that he can do what no other power can do. All right. And so I pray that this has encouraged somebody on today to know that whatever is happening in your life, God specializes. Can you hear the choir sing? You know, I know all y'all said those are Bishop's favorite song. Every song is Bishop's favorite song. Well, I can just hear the choir saying, God specializes. God specializes. Can y'all hear the altos? Can you see the choir swaying? And so I just need you to know that whatever is happening in your life, that God can do what no other power can do in your circumstance. Let us pray. God, we just thank you for specializing in those things that seem impossible. Thank you, oh God, for just doing what no other power is able to do. God, I thank you for loving your people. I thank you for covering your people. Thank you for blessing your people. God, when it looks as if there's no way across, God, I ask that you would help us to trust in you and believe you at your word. When it looks like there's no way around and no way through, God, help us to call upon your holy name and wait for you to answer. God, I ask that you would help us to navigate those waters on today and to be able to just know that you are with us in all that we go through on our journey called life. God, just bless us and keep us. And I ask that, God, you would help us as we are challenged with life and challenged with the things that life may bring that may cause us to get discouraged and may cause us to want to give up. God, help us to know that you're always with us and that you would never forsake us and that you always stand upon your word. God, keep us and cover us in all that we do. This is my prayer. I lift you in Jesus' holy name. I do pray. Amen and thank God. Well, again, God specializes. So don't forget, whatever it is that you may be experiencing on your journey, God can handle that too. All right. Don't forget to like this live stream. Don't forget to share it. And don't forget to push the notification button. Also, follow me, follow Empowerment Liberation Cathedral, and follow all of the leadership of ELC.